Good morning, friends. I'm your host Shashi, again with you all on Women Dialogues to create more voice for women and by women. And today's our guest is connecting from Singapore, and she is very beautiful, very talented, very experienced woman, Dr. Ramona. She is the owner of Ignis Consulting. She is leadership strategist and executive coach. She has worked more than 100 Fortune companies, and she has done lots of work in corporate world. We will hear more about her work, about her leadership, about her coaching, and all about from her side. So let's welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Ramona on Women Dialogues. So welcome, Dr. Ramona on Women Dialogues.
Thank you so much, Shashi. It's indeed an honor to be part of this influencing platform that you have so widely created, and you take it around the world. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ramona, to you because you are becoming a part of this journey, this process to create vision, to create a voice for women and by women. So thank you for that. Moving ahead, as I was reading, I was finding your biodata is so impressive. You have worked more than 100 Fortune companies. You are a coach. You are executive coach, and all work you do for leadership and all. Uh, how it all started. Let's start talking about your early childhood and how it helped you to become and reach on this level today.
I think the three things that I've learned from a very young age, one is all around unwavering persistence. And I think life is as hard as it gets. And what I kept being taught is that if I persevere, if I persist, then winning the game and being successful is really going to be much easier. I think the second thing was all around um, being boundaryless. Learn all the time, learn from anyone. Don't have an ego about learning. Irrespective of the hierarchy, who it is, whether it's someone down the line, whether it's a CEO, whether it's a leader, whether it's a coach. So I have learned from all walks of life. I've learned from all kinds of people from different kinds of countries and cultures. And I think that's made me so boundaryless. I think the third is that every time I did something, I was told that, and I was influenced to think that if you are born to stand out, why try to fit in? So if it is an opportunity to innovate, it's an opportunity to be creative, it's an opportunity to walk the extra mile. Why not do it? And I think these three key values, beliefs actually shaped my life and shaped my career, and has also influenced people that I work with as well as my children at home.
That's a very important and very key learning which you shared with us. Um, Talking about your learning and those strategy which you applied in your own life and you experienced, you shared with your children as well. So how you grow up, how you develop those, because as we all read a lot, we get through a lot of walks of life, lots of experiences. How it is your childhood, is your some kind of experiences, is what exactly made you to find these 3 points in your life.
So it was after I finished school, and people keep asking what are you planning to do? What are you planning to do? And I always had this orientation for people, for coaching, for
Mm.
mentoring, uh,
Mhm.
for counseling. So I started to move into the entire sphere of psychology right after my schooling, and I joined St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. I think that was my learning ground in a way, because it taught me, that it's not about where you've been brought up, how well educated you are. who you are in life, how many cars you own, what kind of house you live in. I think it all boils down to who you think you are.
Yeah.
And relating to people because of who they are rather than what they have. And as a child, I grew up in a family which helped me grow with a lot of love and understanding, and right from wrong and good from bad. But I think one thing that I grew up with is, don't relate to people because they live in a big house or they own a big car, but relate to people because of who they are and how they can influence your life and how you can contribute to theirs. I
Mhm.
think this is a childhood memory where, I do remember that when we were moving, from one house to another, people started asking us whether we were going to change our car. And I remember what my dad said is that, changing our car is not going to change our lives. We're not going to live in our car, but changing our home and changing the way we treat each other, and the way we love each other and the way we show kindness and gentleness, and forgiveness and love. That's really going to change our lives and make us better people.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true, and very, very good sharing you are sharing with us, like how those perspective help you to get in your work, in understanding how the way you have to connect with people in life. So that's really very good and nice sharing which you are sharing with us. So, Dr. Ramona, when you are talking about your all these kind of learning, these kind of small movements influenced you in your career, in your work, and the vision or the understanding you developed, like you, I would like to work with people to make them to understand and to help them by mentoring, coaching, leadership, and all. uh, how you started there, was there any movement, or you definitely you was having vision, but how you implemented in the field?
So my parents had a family friend who used to work at HSBC, and he was then the training and learning manager for HSBC. And I think what he said and how he talked about training as a passion, learning as a passion, how he built those skills from training manager upwards. I think that really influenced me to start thinking, how can I touch people's lives? I think, the three strengths that I have, and I see them as strengths, is one is, I already talked about boundarylessness, but I think one is my ability to think big, broad, and deep.
Hmm.
And that came over the years with research. That came over the years with doing jobs that were big, but jobs that also took you down the line. So
Hmm.
I did work in industrial relations, and then I went to the other end of the spectrum, which was human resources. But what influenced me into development, into coaching, was my dad's friend. His name was Moses, and I looked at his life and I said, I definitely want that. And I think my strengths allow me to walk that path. And I did take the risk of moving into doing my MBA
Hmm.
immediately after I finished psychology. And I think that was one of the better decisions in my life, and with a specialization in human resources. And um, I think when you instill in other people trust, and when
Hmm.
you're passionate about your work, and when
Hmm.
they look up to you, when you kind of don't look down on them, people start giving their best.
Hmm.
People always start giving their best, and what happens is that you actually learn from them, they learn from you, and you build great teams. So I think the journey has been such that I've had mentors and coaches all through my life. And I think when I
Mhm.
look back at these 25 years of doing, working with corporates as well as being an entrepreneur,
Mm.
I felt, and leading a business, I felt that these 25 years have had a wealth of wisdom that has come from very many quarters.
Mm.
From my children, from mentors, from coaches, from leaders, from my managers. I think it's been an amazing 25
Mhm.
years.
Yeah, yeah. And in 25 years, I think you have worked more than 100 Fortune companies. Would you like to bring some, maybe some work stories or something on this platform?
Well, I think one is that, um, I always talk about when you have new managers, and new managers have to be in this reboot mode. When I say reboot mode is, it's like rebooting your computer, starting from scratch, starting from all over again, which is, new managers are like this. They want
Mm-hmm.
to learn, you want to give them
Mm-hmm.
a new perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you want to help them build these fundamentals about leading others. Okay, so when I look at new managers, I say reboot. When I look at managers of managers, I really say rewire. And when I say rewire is about, hey, you've been looking at a lot of data all your life, but please remember your emotions help you make it. If you don't put the rational data and the emotional data together,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to make optimal decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I say rewire is because it's an opportunity to lead with your emotional intelligence. And then for leaders, I normally say reframe,
Mm-hmm.
because you want to reframe yourself in just being a business leader, and you want to actually also put a hat of being a coach, a leader as a coach, because coaching really engages, retains people, and increases revenue and collaboration. So when I work with various companies across cultures, I think these are three things that I've seen organizations have gleaned from us, from Ignis Consulting, and they come back to us for very innovative, impactful, and insightful solutions. And we've enabled organizations with large scale change, like a pharma industry, that a particular manufacturing part of the pharma industry was not working optimally between chemistry and pharma, and we worked with them over a period of 8 months, and they made profit. They were making loss, and then they make profit. We've worked with organizations across the pyramid of employees, managers, and leaders. And we've created these very hands on 70-20-10 leadership models. When I say 70-20-10, I mean 70% of everything that leaders do, and we kind of help them learn, and we facilitate their learning, and through coaching is on their jobs. And
Mm-hmm.
20%, okay, comes from the mentors and coaches that get allocated to them, and 10% is through content learning platforms and so on and so forth. I think that the kind of work that organizations have trusted us to do has
Mm-hmm.
led to high impact and high revenue.
Right. Yeah, that's so important. And the way you share your work strategy is equally, again, it's important. And when we are talking about it, you mentioned boundaryless and culturally. So what does it means like, and how you bring these, all these and this aspect from in your work while working, consulting, coaching, and all.
I think for me, being boundaryless is you don't have a border and you don't have a boundary. It's like, there are countries in the world today, in Europe, where they don't have a physical border. It's from one country to another, but they don't have a physical border. And when I see boundarylessness, it's about working across cultures, across different kinds of people with different kinds of leadership style, managerial styles, communication styles. And it's about adapting and being agile and changing your strategy and your approach as a coach to be able to help them be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's key and critical. So, one can't teach boundarylessness. I think for me, being boundaryless is a value. You hold it dearly. It's because you don't want anyone to think that you are in this cage and you only operate like this. That's the reason, I think, the reason for Ignis Consulting success is also because, the partners that we have in the various countries are from are from very diverse backgrounds. You'll have, some are doctors, some are ex-business leaders, some are coaches, some have been managers, some have been project leads. So we have this diversity not only in background but also in cultures, in countries, and we've seen that that helps raise collaboration, that helps bring in the best innovative ideas, and that helps companies and clients be successful.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. And when we are talking about bringing culturally diversity, inclusiveness, and all you are talking about in current scenario, we all are experiencing how it is important. So you are bringing in your consulting business, you are bringing in your consulting work. Did you find any time conflict between when you are bringing the same approach in the particular business, and they might be having different mindset? What or how was your experience in that regard?
So I have personally worked across six diverse industries, whether it be technology, whether it be pharma, financial services, manufacturing, and the like. And what I've realized is that, um, it's. I don't think it's about the industry. I think it's about the leader.
Hmm.
Of course,
Yeah,
the
so true.
industry has its norms, its policies, its way of working, but
Yeah,
you always find these outlier leaders.
yeah,
They're just born to stand out, and so they can't fit in. And
right.
those are the leaders who step out of their comfort zone, enable others to step out of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
take the risk, and do things differently. So when we're approached by leaders that say, this is not going to work here, we always pleasantly ask the question, why? Or
Mm-hmm.
why not? And I'm curious. So I ask them what's working till now and why did you need us to step in? What do you think that we can bring to the table that's going to be different?
Right.
I think sometimes just listening actively, asking the right questions, uh, you know, um, and asking some tough questions sometimes to leaders, enabling them to step back
Mm-hmm.
and think. So we do experience these disagreements. We do have these harsh words called conflicts, where there are disagreements. But I think
Yeah.
our approach at Ignis to conflicts is take it one level higher, not the conflict, but the
Mm-hmm.
discussion.
Yeah.
Take the discussion. It's like, uh, an eagle. When an
Mm-hmm.
eagle wants to fight, okay, and a crow tries to fight with an eagle, what does the eagle do? The
Mm-hmm.
eagle just starts flying higher and higher and higher. And beyond a point, the crow can't catch up
Mm-hmm.
with height. So
Yeah.
I think when you're faced with conflict, it's about taking the discussion to a new level. It's about
Right.
engaging at a different level. It's about asking the right questions. It's about just sometimes listening to what's not going right, especially in mergers and acquisitions. When we're doing work on mergers and acquisitions, when we're doing work where there are a lot of layoffs taking place, sometimes we just put on our thinking hat and then keep it aside and then just listen.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what is not being said. So you'll
Yes.
understand where the differences are, differences in opinions are. You'll understand where could conflicts be arising out of, and how can we pleasantly deal with them without creating a lot of angst, and a lot of bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're all human beings, right? And human beings, we are driven by our emotions, and those very emotions drive help us, and those very human beings help us drive performance and potential as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got to be sensitive. We've got to raise our antenna of sensitivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And when you are bringing about being emotional, being our human being, how we can deal, how we can bring our those highest potential level, and can work for our in a best level of our, by aligning with our emotional and all these kind of uh, current scenario when we are talking about it. We know we in at many places we are experiencing a lot of discrimination, a lot of disagreement, right? In many ways, whether it is about racial, about ethnicity, about language, about there are many ways. But I believe living in Singapore give you maybe broaden horizon as you are aligning with your work as well. So what advice would you like to give to others in general, being boundaryless and at the same time, how they can broaden their horizon, how they can reach on those points where they find uh, between disagreement to agreement, a line of connection, how they can do that?
I think to build deeper connection, to grow the business, to be successful, I have two, three learnings to share. I wouldn't say it's advice, but it's my learnings.
Mm-hmm.
I think one is, have a passion for whatever you do. You've got
Mm-hmm.
to just love what you do. So if you're
Right.
choosing to do that, put in your 100%. And I call it, zeal. And Jeff Bezos of Amazon calls it missionary zeal. You've got to have this zeal, this missionary zeal to for customers, for your product, for your service. And Warren Buffett says that, it's all about that passion. Do you have that passion to run after to grow your business? Think smartly. Rather, you've got to work hard, but it's also about thinking smartly. So that's one. I think the second is, there's a lot to do with speed. And Ortega, who built Zara from scratch, says that speed is everything. And I'd like to add to it by saying that if you have speed with innovation, I think innovation ensures that you are in the game and you're moving at a faster pace beyond your competitors. I think the third one is, I would say, choose your battles. Choose your battles carefully. Do not burn bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And Savarin says this. He says, do not burn bridges because you don't know when you need help from that person or people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say these two or three learnings will keep you in the game, will make you successful, will keep your antenna for innovation high, will help you think big, broad, and deep, and more so will just make you a really good human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so. So when we are talking about it, all these three strategies and skills you learned with your own experiences, what advice in one line would you like to give to our audience? We believe there are many women are also listening. They might be looking some kind of inspiration and motivation to find their purpose or mission. How they can develop that kind of strategies. What can be that?
So, if you're asking me for other women, I'm excited to always talk about women and women leaders and women at home, wherever you are. You know, women, you're a different breed, and that's why God made men and women. So we
Yeah.
don't have to be or behave like men. We're different. You must read this study, which is called the State of the Heart Study by an organization called 6 Seconds in the US. They are the largest practitioners and researchers and company for emotional intelligence. And there's a very interesting finding that in the studies that they've done, which is both men and women's, their degree of emotional intelligence is almost the same.
Mm.
But what is different is that the strengths that they bring to the table.
Mm.
So women definitely bring this entire connection and community and collaboration at a faster pace. But there is something that women can do better at, and that is for us to be able to navigate our emotions. Now, what do I say by that? Navigate our emotions sometimes for corporates, it would be navigate the politics in organizations. For sometimes it may be just keeping quiet and saying the right thing at the right time, choosing your battles. At times, it may be okay standing up for yourself. At times, it may be using a multiple layer of influence, someone else to speak on your behalf. And so I think the key thing and the key uh, for success for us as women leaders is how can I navigate my emotions? How can
Mhm.
I manage the political arena sometimes in organizations that call us to manage ourselves and others differently? And
Mhm.
I have this model which is called Step In, and the Step In model talks about how emotional intelligence, executive presence, and business acumen all together. This combination is lethal in terms of making you successful.
Mhm.
So I wish all the viewers a happy life, a successful life, not just a beautiful career, but a long, long, long life of curiosity and innovation and health.
Yeah. And when we are talking about it, your these advice about passion for women, what's your say and what's your feeling about why uh, having such kind of talk show like Women Dialogue is important?
Because men and women are different, very, very different in the way our brains are wired. We're different. And that's the reason why we bring a different set of strengths to the table. Men bring their own set of emotional intelligence strengths, and women bring their own set of emotional intelligence strengths. And that's the reason why teams that are more diverse, not only in gender, but in culture and otherwise, they tend to become more innovative and raise revenue at a faster pace. So diversity is all about bringing those several different minds and thoughts together. But in, it's like diversity is is like you are invited to the party, but inclusiveness is that you're invited to dance.
Mhm. Yeah, very beautifully said. So, last thing,
I kind of lost you in terms of for a
yeah.
second or so in terms of volume.
Can, are we together now? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Shashi.
Are, are you able to hear me? No?
Give me a second, please.
So, dear viewers, due to technical reason, it seems like we are not able to
Hello.
hear Dr.
I
Ramona.
think I've kind of lost the volume totally, Shashi. Should we just come back on it again?
That's fine, Dr. Ramona. I think we hear you. We really get inspired and motivated by your sharing of knowledge, your experiences, and all about. And I would like to share to our viewers if they would like to get connect with you with Ignis Consulting, and if they are looking any kind of support, they can get connect, and I would put your details in the description as well. And same time, thanks to all our viewers and who are listening and watching us. Keep yourself motivated, inspired, and if you would like to hear more from us, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Stay safe, stay connected. See you in the next episode. Take care. Bye bye.